Hello, friend. Today I'm here to introduce you my second dream project in the campus of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, RUSA Center for Advanced Sensor Technology. Let me tell you, my friend, when I joined this university in 2003, I was having a dream of establishing a kind of research facility which could be made available for the student free of cost, student of this university free of cost. Because when I was in North Maharashtra University, I saw North Maharashtra University School of Physical Sciences. They established wonderful facility for device fabrication under the guidance of Professor D.K. Gautam. And I was part of that team to begin with when I was working with Professor D.K. Gautam. Because NMU was having a clean room facility of 10,000 class for having for fabrication of devices. So because I'm having that kind of idea to have similar kind of facility in this university. Later on, when I went to US in 2007 and later on in 2008, initially before that, prior to my US visit, I went to Australia and I was there in the University of Wollongong and I saw wonderful facility there for device fabrication. Similarly, when I went there in the US under, first of all, initially in the Bioscus Fellowship, and then again, second time I went there under the capacity of, visiting scientist under NIH Fellowship. And I worked there along with Professor Ashok Malchandani. And I saw they were having wonderful facilities for the research scholars for material synthesis, device fabrications, and characterization. Material synthesis, characterization, and device fabrication. When we used to have a weekly meeting there at University of California, I saw like every week student used to have a wonderful, huge amount of data with them, because since they were having all those facilities available for synthesis and characterization to begin with, for optimization of various properties of material, every week student used to discuss various aspect of material, how the properties can be optimized. And then later on they used to have the device fabrication and optimization of properties of devices as well, because they were having access to those facilities. Unfortunately, in most of the Indian universities, forget about IITs and very few high profile institutions across the country, most of the state universities, students, research scholars, and faculty members, they don't have access to those state of that facilities. And since they don't have access to that kind of state of that facilities, somehow the research is not going to be up to that level. The reason is, if you don't have facilities, student will not get opportunity to work on the instruments, and they will not have option for doing more number of experiment because they don't have facilities. Moreover, because whenever you are synthesizing one particular material, unless you characterize, because what happens in India, in most of the state university, students synthesize materials and then they always send that material for a characterization to some other institution. And student has to wait for months together to get the characterization. And moreover, they don't know whatever characterization research they will be having from those universities back. They are they don't know whether those results are from the same sample or not. And moreover, let us say, for example, today student did one experiment and sent for characterization. After 1 month, he is going to get back that characterization. And after 1 month, he will come to know that whatever method he has adapted, whatever properties, whatever the protocol he has used for synthesis of that material, he could not end up with the expected result. After 1 month, he will come to know, and then he will be doing experiments, sending the samples for characterization. It takes hell of time. And as a result of that, students don't do more number of experiments. Whatever result they got, they will be happy with that. However, on the other hand, if they are having all those characterization tools available next to their the next next to their other hand, What they can do, they can do lot of permutation combination while synthesis of materials, and they can check that permutation, whether that permutation combination work as per their expectation or not. And therefore, when I came back from US, I started sending proposal to various funding agencies, and fortunately, I got wonderful funding from various funding agencies, and we have created the state-of-the-art facilities for material synthesis and characterization. Initially, all that facilities, all those facilities were housed in Department of Physics in 4 different laboratories, and it was being utilized only by my research scholars. But somehow I was having dream of making that facilities open to those who are interested, because I saw in US most of the student, like every student rather, every student can get access to any equipment as per their desire. Let us say XRD, you will in most of the developed countries, you will find that there is a common system available, and the individual research scholar can book their own time for that XRD or SEM machine, and he can go there and do their own characterize their own sample. However, in India, in most of the, I'm not talking about all the institutions, but most of the state universities in particular, and many even central universities as well, even though the facilities are available in this central facility, student will not allow. I mean, because of some reason, there will be, the technician, and he will have to hand over sample to technician, and technician will characterize your sample for you, and then he will provide you result. I thought like we should have a platform. We should create a platform for the student, wherein student on their own can go and do their characterization. So later on in 2000, somewhere in 2015, RUSA has announced the call rather for submission of proposal submission of proposal. For establishment of Center of Excellence. And then I thought like, since by that time, because I started working in this area in 2003, and then by 2013 I was having good number of publications and good exposure as well, working in US and Australia as well. Based on that exposure, I prepared a comprehensive proposal. We prepared rather, because a team of my research scholars and myself, we prepared a comprehensive proposal, submitted to RUSA. I went there for presentation, and fortunately, RUSA, we were successful. RUSA has approved the Center for Advanced Sensor Technology with the funding outlay of 1.5 crore, and we got some additional infrastructure through that funding. And then I thought now I requested rather university authorities to allow me to shift the other infrastructure which was created under the various funding agency, to shift that infrastructure to RUSA Center. So that was my request to the university authority, and university authority was kind enough to allow me to ship all those instruments from Department of Physics to RUSA Center. And nowadays, you can see this is as a result of that. In fact, we have created this wonderful platform for research scholar, because whatever facilities we are having in the center now, it is open for everybody, open for all research scholar within the university, outside the university, across the state and across the university as well. Of course, if the students are from this university, this infrastructure is available free of cost. Of course, the whatever expenses they have to do for consumables, they have to manage those expenses only. But for rest, for this universities, it is free of charge. However, for other university students and research scholar, we have some charges, frame charges, right? So today I'm going to introduce you this center, because although we have got wonderful facilities, and there are a good number of research scholars across the state, across the country, they came forward and started using these facilities as well. I'm going to tell you that as well. So this center was established in the year 2016, as I mentioned earlier. Since the bulk funding was given by not bulk funding, but 1.5 crore given by RUSA, we thought of giving this name, RUSA Center for Advanced Sensor Technology. But here it's not only RUSA funded equipment. Almost as I mentioned in my earlier presentation, I have procured the another state of that facilities for material synthesis, the characterization and device fabrication through various funding agency, and total outlay of that funding is around 5 to 6 crore. So as and today, whatever infrastructure we are having in the RUSA center, the cost, I mean, the total outlay of that infrastructure will be around approximately 8 to 9 crore. Let me, to begin with, let me express my sincere thanks to my mentor, Professor Ashok Mulchandani, because whatever training I got when I was in US, that was a substantial training I got. Moreover, I would also like to express my sincere thanks to Professor D.K. Gautam as well, because I have got wonderful training under his guidance as well. I would like to sincerely acknowledge the efforts of my research scholars, my collaborators, because we have got wonderful collaboration within country, within university, within country, outside the country as well. And as a result of that, we could get good funding as well as good intellectual support as well for establishment of the center. And then whatever intellectual output I am having, credit goes to my research scholars and all my collaborators. This is the building of RUSA Center for Advanced Sensor Technology. I must mention, you must have seen that the title of this building, University Innovation Center. The reason for that is 3 different innovative activities are being conducted in this center. One is Center for Advanced Sensor Technology. Other is a DST Seed Center. That is in fact Science and Technology Innovation Center hub rather, for upliftment of the SST population. DST has given us substantial funding. It is around 2.6 crore for providing some skill-based education to the villagers from the Kannad Taluka. We adopted 6 villages, and we started this project since last 1 year. We have finished training of all those villages from Chikaltan village rather. And let me tell you, my friend, I'm happy to mention here that we could develop 5 entrepreneurs from that first village, and I'm having 2 other group working in that project. One group is led by Professor Bharti Gauli from Department of Computer Science, and another group is led by Professor Dhave from Department of Botany. So we 3 together submitted that proposal, and we got substantial funding. So that is second activity which is being conducted in this building. And then third is Department of Electronics. In fact, as I mentioned earlier, we are sharing this infrastructure. Department of Electronics and RUSA Center, it is a kind of the same the infrastructure we are creating for the for MSc Electronics student as well. So this is a common facility as far as the RUSA Center is concerned. This is a common facility center with state-of-the-art facilities in the area of material synthesis, characterization, and device fabrication, and it can be used by any researcher across the country. Let me show you some pictures of my center. This is entrance view of the center and other laboratory. Vision of this center is sensor for technology, sensor for life, and mission is to convert findings of the laboratory research into low-cost sensor technology and application. It means ultimate mission of this particular sensor is to convert laboratory products into commercially viable product. Convert laboratory research into commercially viable product. What are the theme sectors? Based on our own expertise, like whatever, because myself along with Dr. Kunal Datta and other research scholar, this is my own research group. Based on our own research expertise and research credential, we thought of having these theme sectors. Material for sensor and other applications. Mainly, we are focusing on only sensor application. But if somebody, some other research scholars are interested, join us and work for some other application like capacitor applications and photovoltaic cells. For other application, have got adequate infrastructure for that as well. Sensors for gaseous analytes, like whatever materials we are developing, that we are using for gaseous analyte. Sensors for analytes in liquid phase, like mainly we are working on 2 different kind of sensor, gas sensors and heavy metal ion sensors. So it is not only laboratory research, because we are doing, because fundamental research is also important, but we are doing application oriented research as well. So we are our main focus of this center is going to be whatever research we are doing, that research should be converted to commercially viable products. So therefore, equipment for sensor interface, and there is one group from computer science. They are working on remote sensing. Professor from computer science, Professor Bharti Gowli from computer science, and Professor Kavi Kale, they are utilizing this facility. Now, as far as the science and technology integration is concerned, as I mentioned earlier, we are focusing on basic research, application, and technology transfer. So, what we are doing in I always encourage master student to do fundamental research, right? Because fundamental research is going to be very important, because whenever we are talking about application, we need to do a lot of optimization. So that optimization mainly the master students are focusing, because as I told you earlier, MSc physics student as well as MSc electronics student, whenever they are coming to our center for doing their project, we are asking them, rather we are mentoring them to do a fundamental research, so that all this the optimization can be done. Now when it comes to the research scholars, they will be focusing on application, right? Whatever optimization the MSc students are doing, that will be a kind of platform the research scholars are using, and then they are using that platform for devices, right? So material synthesis, optimization, and then application of the devices. Main focus of my group, as I mentioned earlier, is sensor. So it's not only laboratory research, because whatever materials we are developing, whatever testing we are doing for some sensing application, we always make it sure that we should have some kind of instruments, right? Some handheld sensing gadgets. So once the handheld sensing gadgets are there, we always ensure that the technology should be transferred, right? So fortunately, since we are having good association with industries in Aurangabad, whatever technology we are doing, that we are ensuring that it is being transferred to the industry. Before transferring what we are doing, we always encourage student to file the patent, and then we are focusing on technology transfer. So in this center, we encourage student for basic research, application oriented, as well as technology transfer. As far as the capacity building is concerned, the I mean grooming of the student has been a regular activity or integral activity of this center. We are organizing familiarization workshop for very consistent familiarization, regular familiarization workshop for UG student, PG student, and research scholars, and moreover for young faculty members as well. So what we are doing, we are inviting, we are organizing separate workshop for UG student, PG student, and research scholar. So during this familiarization workshop, we always the first phase, we always introduce our center, what kind of facilities we are having, how can we utilize these facilities for doing different sort of research, and then the protocol, right? What should be a modus operandi to make use of this facility. So that kind of capacity building we are doing, so that the UG student can be encouraged to pursue their career in research, because unfortunately in India, most of the talented students, they are not coming into the research. So main objective of this capacity building program is to encourage undergraduate student and postgraduate student to us for doing innovative research in that laboratory. It's not only in the research center, but they can go anywhere. But we are grooming them, we are training them, we are telling them success stories, what kind of excitement we are having after having some good research. Let me tell you, this is the list of facilities we are having. Material synthesis, you can see we are having very good facilities, state-of-the-art facilities for material synthesis, right from electrochemical workstation, chemical vapor deposition, E-beam and thermal evaporator. We are having different chemical bath deposition as well. We have different muffle and tabular furnaces as well. As far as material characterizations is concerned, again, like we have got very good facilities. Atomic force microscope along with scanning tunneling microscope, electrochemical workstation for all sort of electrochemical characterization, UV visible spectroscope, spectrophotometer and FTIR spectrophotometer, source measure unit for characterization of the 2-terminal and 3-terminal devices, truly dynamic computerized gas sensing setup that we have indigenously developed, Bruker XRD, and semiconductor parameter analyzer as well. For device fabrication, we have got clean room of 10,000 class. Wonderful facility, which is very unique, which we this different equipment we house. And for the vegetation purpose, we have got analysis and surface vegetation. We have got VIS NIR hyperspectral imaging spectrophotometer. I'm going to show you the glimpses of the facilities. Now, whenever we are talking about material processing, all those materials are going to be very, very hazardous. I mean, most of the materials are carcinogenic in nature, and therefore we need to take care of the student safety as well whenever the students are working, and therefore we have taken care of proper vent of those fumes of those hazardous and carcinogenic materials, right? And therefore we have created wonderful facilities where you can see fume hood. Whenever the carcinogenic materials or chemicals students are handling, we always advise students to use only fume hood. And once they are, I mean, whenever the chemicals are in concentrated in nature, and once it is diluted, then student can use other part of the laboratory. This is another view of process laboratory. As far as the fabrication lab is concerned, let me tell you this unique feature of this CVD machine. This CVD machine was designed and fabricated by my student when they were doing research. I would like to mention the name Dr. Kunal Datta and Prasanna Ghosh. When they were doing their PhD, we together, like in 2007-8, I guess, we started working on this. We got one the CSR project. Actually, if you want to purchase this kind of CVD machine from a multinational company, we need to pay around 30 to 40 lakhs at least. But we could design and fabricate. This machine only by the worth of rupees 7 to 8 lakhs only. So we have substantially saved almost 10 to 15 lakhs. Which can this CVD machine can be used for. We are using for development of growth of CNTs, single wall carbon nanotubes and multi wall carbon nanotubes. We have got 4 electrochemical workstation procured under various projects. This electrochemical workstation can be used for growth of thin film, deposition of coating of carbon nanotube by various organic conducting polymer, and development of 1D nanostructure as well, single nanowire. So we are developing single nanowires by using template. We are developing a nanowire structure network of nanowires without template, and then we are using this machine for coating of CNTs by various organic conducting polymers as well. Now we are working on the 16 electrode device because on the small 1 centimeter square chip we are having 16 devices, and the gap between 2 electrodes is 3 micron, and we are bridging that 3 micron gap by carbon nanotube. So for aligning CNTs across the 3 micron gap, we need a probe station. So we have we procured probe station under DST project for alignment of CNTs or alignment of single nanowire across the 3 micron gap, so that 2-terminal and 3-terminal devices can be fabricated. And of course, this we have interface with a CH electrochemical bus station, because once we align CNTs, we need to do IV characterization before and after alignment. Once all the 16 devices are ready, again, like moreover for modification also, for surface modification, again we are using this probe station along with CH electrochemical bus station. Once all 16 devices are ready, then we need to do the wire bonding and chip carrier, because at the end of the process we are going to test that in the gas sensing setup. So before that we need to do the wire bonding. So for that purpose we procure Westbond wire bonder machine through DST Nanomission project. This is another view of the fabrication laboratory. This is unique facilities. Let me tell you again another indigenous equipment which we have developed in the lab. Let me tell you, my friend, there are very few laboratories across the country where this kind of dynamic gas sensing system is available. Most of the laboratories, they are testing sensors in static environment. But this is unique facility, very few laboratories across the country. wherein the dynamic testing of the sensors can be done. It's not only single sensor, 16 sensor. As I mentioned earlier, we are having 16 sensor chip, right? So all the 16 sensor can be characterized along with this Kettler 4200 semiconductor characterization system. So we have interfaced this with the Kettler 4200 so that all those 16 sensor can be monitored here, either in FET modality or chemiresistive modality. That both modalities we are working on. This is another view of the fabrication laboratory, and this is UV with VIS NIR hyperspectral imaging spectrophotometer, which is being used by the computer science professors for surface vegetation. As far as this microsystem technology lab is concerned, this is very unique facility available at RUSA Center for Advanced Sensor Technology. This is clean room of 10th of the class. My friend, this is the rare facility available in the university system, because this kind of clean room facilities is available either in IITs or in some CSI laboratories, but in university system you will rarely find this kind of facilities. Here, mask aligner, we have the mask aligner, SUS Microtech mask aligner. We procured through RUSA funding. This can be used for various semiconductor devices, not only of pattern generation. We are working on MEMS as well, on many semiconductor devices also. Any sort of semiconductor devices can be developed by using mask aligner. Whenever we are talking about semiconductor devices, you need to, because those devices, whenever we are fabricating, you need to, deposit different layers of material. So for that purpose, you need a very good system at which you can deposit different layers of the material. So we have procured this system, and is like we got it fabricated as per our requirement. So that for e-beam and thermal evaporator both together in a single machine. And this is another view of microsystem laboratory. You can see students are working there. Wonderful facility available in the campus. When it comes to the material characterization, again, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have the material characterization facilities available in the next door, then student will be handicapped. Student will not be able to do many experiment as many experiment as they want, right? So this is very unique facility we have procured under the UGC SAP project. Again, like I am myself is the coordinator of UGC SAP project of Department of Physics, because RUSA Center is a kind of extension of Department of Physics, and therefore whatever even this we have procured through UGC SAP, that has also been transferred to RUSA Center because it is part of Department of Physics. The unique feature of this Bruker XRD D8 advanced system is you can do powder sample, you can do multi-layer, because if you are having multi-layer film, that also can be done. The cross section can be studied. If you are having the nanoparticles in the liquid sample, that also can be done. Since we are working on micron level samples, micro diffraction attachment we have procured, and moreover peer distribution function analysis can be done. So in single system, 4 different facilities are there, and this kind of like system having this kind of facilities again is very rare in across the country. Moreover, we have procured AFM with STM through DST SRB project. Because in sensor, the surface morphology is going to play a very important role, because unless you ensure the desired surface morphology, you cannot expect the good results. And therefore, once the sample is ready, because since it is available next door, students are doing as many time AFM as they want, right? And every student, like one of the peculiar feature of my center is all research scholars, they are doing their samples characterization on their own. We don't have any technician, right? All research scholars, because they have to do on their own. And whenever new research scholar is joining my research institute, my center, he has to get training under senior research scholars, and then he will start working on his own. Similarly, we have got wonderful this ATR FTIR facility. You can do liquid sample as well as solid sample. We have got a couple of UV visible spectrophotometer, and very recently we bought Raman spectrophotometer as well. This is under DST FIST. Again, because I am the principal coordinator of DST fees as well. This is very good facility available for characterization of the samples. This surface BET surface area analyzer we have procured through DST SARB project, my own project, individual project, and this is also for surface, because again here surface area in for sensor application, surface area is going to be very important, and therefore we have procured through DST project. As far as prototype devices are concerned, we have developed many prototypes, but I have mentioned here too. This is AMOSAFE. This is a very cost-effective device we have developed for testing ammonia, and this is Corra analyte sensing gadget. You can see NS3, CO, SO2, and BITEX. In fact, this kind of Corra analyte sensing gadget, if you go to market, Honeywell is one of the very famous multinational company. Honeywell Corra analyte sensing gadget will cost around 1,000 USD. Around 1,000 USD means around 75,000. Even Chinese product, Chinese Corra analyte sensing gadget will be costing around 30 to 40,000 rupees. Whereas this cost of this device is only 1,000 rupees. Now, how this magic we could do, that I cannot disclose here, because we have optimized a lot of because this is not a complex device. There are many because we have removed the complexity. Like this is very simple to use, anybody can handle, and many complexity we have optimized, and as a result of that we could subsidize, we could reduce the cost substantially, and it has already been submitted to the patent. We are waiting for the examination, and once it is there, we already had a like agreement with one of the industry that once the MOU, once the patent is granted, it is going to be transferred to the industry. As far as the calendar event is concerned, as I mentioned earlier, earlier we used to take this kind of program every month, but later on we started organizing all these programs after every alternate month. Last programs were organized in the month of February, and unfortunately later on, because of this coronavirus pandemic, we could not organize this kind of program. But what kind of program we usually organize, let me tell you. Every alternate month we organize familiarization workshop, and it's not only one. It depends on the audience. Like if it is for UG different, PG student different, research scholar different. So we may have a couple of 2 to 3 familiarization workshop depending on audience. In familiarization workshop, as I mentioned earlier, we always create some sort of awareness. Like we introduce our lab, what kind of facilities we are having, and then in second phase, because we are telling them like all the equipment, introducing all equipments in the lecture hall, like all what kind of equipment have, what are the features, what kind of experiment can be done, okay, what are the operating instructions, all those we are giving theoretically to begin with. And then afternoon session we are giving them it's not hands-on, but it's going to be laboratory visit. And then based on that, we are inviting proposal for medium term and short term project. Medium term and short term means those who want to make use of the facilities, they need to submit proposal. I'm going to share you the format of proposal as well. And then once the proposals are submitted, we have got the internal committee, scrutiny committee. We go scrutinize the proposal, and then in fact we never reject anybody. Whenever proposals are there and whenever there are some shortcomings, we always invite the principal investigator to make the modification. Ultimate, target of that proposal is whenever research scholar coming to a center, he should come up with, at the end of his tenure, he should come up with either research scopus index publication or he should have patent. So far, since last 2-3 years, I mean, we started, center was established in 2016, started in operation in somewhere in 2017. Since these last 3 years, so far 32 collaborative proposals we have initiated, and almost 35 scopus index papers we have published. All those through collaborative proposals. 6 patents we have submitted. We have published so far 9 patents as on today. 9 patents we have published, and very soon we are going to have examination. Now, once the proposals are invited, then we shortlist the proposal, and shortlisted proposal we organize hands-on training, right? Because hands-on is very important, as I mentioned earlier, because we don't have technicians. So whenever the research scholars coming to our center, we always encourage research scholar to sit on the equipment. because they should use equipment on their own. But since we are having a very sophisticated equipment, we cannot allow student to handle the equipment right from first day, right? Therefore, to begin with, we provide them hands-on training, number one. And then second time, whenever he or she will be coming, we will be advising him or her to handle the equipment under the supervision of senior research scholar. So in one or two go, he or she will be expert, and he or she can handle the equipment very efficiently. And this is how we are grooming the student. This is how we are allowing student to handle the equipment. And this is one of the very peculiar feature of this center. Moreover, IPR awareness is very, very important, because what I observed over the years, since last 32 years, that research scholars and even faculty members, they are not aware about the intellectual property. So we always create IPR awareness by organizing IPR workshop, awareness workshop every alternate month. And as a result of that, we could encourage student and research scholar to submit patents, and we are helping them to draft the patent as well. If you want to visit our website, first of all, you have to visit Dr. Bamu, and then you can see here, you will see RUSA Center for Advanced Sensor Technology. And then you can click, you can go ahead and see what kind of facilities we have, what kind of programs we have, okay, what are the announcement. And there are two ways. One is you can work in collaboration, uh, uh, because whenever you're talking about collaboration, then it will be a joint property of the RUSA Center as well as the PI. And if you don't want to work in collaboration, then we are providing the facilities on tariff basis as well. And these are you can see, these are the charges for all the facilities. You can have this tariff card available on our website as well. So those who are interested to characterize the sample by paying money, they are most welcome. You can see there are different charges for BAMU student, and because you can see we have subsidized the rates for BAMU, and if they are from outside the university, charges are a little bit more, and for industry, charges are still further more. This is like whatever the facilities we have. Let me tell you, my friend, here, as I mentioned earlier, the facilities is free of charge for BAMU student. What I mean to say is those who are working in collaboration, for them it is free of charge. But if you don't want to work in collaboration, if you want to make use of the facilities, like if you want to send the sample and you want the sample to be characterized, then what we do, our students characterize the sample and provide them the characterization research. That's it. And we charge we charge for that. Through this revenue, through these charges, we have collected good amount of revenue during these 3-4 months. So the output of this center is, we have collected almost more than 5 lakhs rupees during these 3 to 4 year, through the revenue generated through this characterization. We have published more than 40 Scopus research paper, not others, Scopus and Web of Science research papers, and around 9 to 10 patent as well. So this is the intellectual output so far we have created, and most importantly, this facilities is available for anybody across the center, across the state, and across the country. If you want to submit proposal, this is this format is also available on the website. But you can see this is very simple format. You need to mention details of the students or faculty members, and then significance of the research, what kind of research you want to do, detailed literature review, because we don't want your efforts to go into the vain. Because what we want, like whenever you are working with us, you need to come up with some measurable outcome. Either it could be in terms of Scopus paper, or it could be in terms of patent. And so far, whatever research scholar, whatever collaboration, whatever collaborative proposal, whatever research scholar and faculty members work with us, they always end up with one or other measurable outcome, either Scopus index paper or the patent. You can see then details of research project, objectives, what you are going to do, and then the methodologies, what kind of facility you are expecting, and what expected outcome you are having out of this, and then bibliography and brief biodata of the research project. This is the small format we are having. With this, I'm going to stop here. The ultimate aim of this presentation was to introduce you this one, I mean, the Rusa Center for Advanced Sensor Technology, what kind of facilities we are having, and what kind of research you can do. Those who are interested, either research scholar, BSc student, because there are many students. Let me tell you one more important aspect. There are many undergraduate student and postgraduate student from various engineering colleges and various colleges. They are coming, engineering colleges and science colleges. They are coming during their summer vacations and winter vacations, working on their project, and we are helping them as well. So those who are interested, you could be undergraduate student engineering as well as science, you could be postgraduate student engineering as well as science, you could be research scholar, or you could be a faculty members. If you really want to make use of the facility, you are most welcome, and we will be happy to help you out. Thank you very much. See you.